Yeah, hi everyone. Hi, hello again. So, today we are going to go live with a musician. He is a songwriter from New York. So, we are just trying to get him in. And hello Shivani, hello Devakshi. Thank you so much for joining again. Thank you, DJ. So, yeah, we're still trying to get, yes. So, I think Greg is going to be with us any minute because I think he's figured it out from his phone. So, basically, Greg, he is a songwriter. So, he's really going to tell us. Hi, Greg.
Okay, I think
Fine.
I did it finally.
Yes. Yay.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you
know that was
so
quite
much. Yeah, thank you so
appreciate
much
that.
for being with us today. So I'll just let all the viewers know a little bit about you. So, yes, everyone. So, Greg is a songwriter from New York. He basically is a, yes, finally, he's with us. So, he is a musician. He loves to write. He is amazing in writing. I've, read his songs, I've heard him play. So, he is, of course, at end of the speak, I'm going to ask him to play a little song for us. I hope he is having his guitar close to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, over to Greg. Greg, please talk. Tell us something about yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Meg. I really appreciate you having me on, and thank you everyone for joining on today. I appreciate that. Sorry about the little glitch.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be here and share with everybody about my songwriting inspiration and my process and creativity. You know, creative, whether it be with design or music or art. It's all just an expression of our hearts and our emotions and things that move us and inspire us. So I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah. Greg, so tell us something about your love for India, because as I know you, you are a biggest fan of India I've met ever. So can you just tell us something about it?
I love India. I've met so many friends from India that are here in the States currently over the years. And I love the art. I love the music, um, the culture. I'm so inspired to visit. I've been really wanting to visit for so long. And if you, I have tapestries all of my place, you
Yeah, we
know,
can see
from
that. Wow.
India, and the music, and I just love the culture. And I've learned so much from the East,
Yeah.
growing up here in the West. But as I started to study, I've studied herbal medicine and Ayurveda, and I've just been so inspired by the traditional culture of how things are done. And I think India represents an old culture that's so much wisdom and
Wow.
that I love, that I think the States really gets a lot out of. We're very inspired by you, you know, in America, as you know.
Yeah, thank you so much, Greg. So, yeah, today we have invited you here because as we know, designing has always been a big process. And every time, whenever a designer is wanting to create something, we always have found our inspiration through the music, through the songs we listen to or, the music we play. So, can you tell us your journey about how exactly you got into songwriting?
Absolutely. I was always a fan of music growing up. I would hear music and it would just make me feel a certain way, whether it be excited or if I was sad, it would help me to kind of deal with that sadness, or just inspired. So it always, whenever I heard it, it said, "What is that?" It's like heavenly, you know.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, I was going through my adolescence, and struggling with figuring out my way. I started to write poetry, and
Wow.
it was nice. But music has a certain thing; it's so hard to describe that they say it tames the beast in all of us. It soothes
Yeah.
the soul. So somehow I had a friend that played guitar, and I said, "Oh, let's just play some music." And it
Yeah.
was the most amazing experience to be able to express my emotions through music.
Wow. So can you tell us something, can you just quickly play a little song of yours? I know I was going to do it at the end. I will definitely be doing it at the end as well. But, just for our viewers who are just joining in, it will be amazing to listen a little piece of your music?
Sure. Yeah, I play very I'm usually singing in the band, but I play
Yeah.
a little bit. Okay, I wrote something recently. It's kind of not done yet, but I
Okay.
guess I play a little bit.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I saw you yesterday. You took my breath away. You look so cute and clever. I knew I could love you forever. I think of love. That's like something I just started working on
Wow.
recently.
That's nice. So
I'm
great.
kind of getting into this. Yeah.
This was very, very nice. So Greg, for our young designers, because the people who are listening to us today are all the young designers. Somebody is a jewelry designer, somebody is graphic, interiors, or somebody other emerging designers who are really learning designing with us. So can you tell us, like, can you help them with how can they find inspiration? Like, we can go, step by step. We can start with fashion designers first. So when we talk about fashion designers, why music plays a major role into the designing process? And after that,
I think, I think music for me, like it goes back to that emotion. If the designers will find a piece of music that they love, or even something, what might be interesting too for the designers is to go back and listen to something classical music, something they've never heard before, and just sit and listen to it. And
yeah,
I think music represents nature, and I think design represents nature. So
yeah,
sometimes if they just explore the natural surroundings and they see, you'll find nature has design, whether it be color, symmetry.
yeah,
And I think music hits a sense of the auditory sense. So it's kind of like indescribable what happens when we hear music, but it certainly inspires us to feel.
yeah,
And I think design's about feel too, because if sometimes I'll see someone walking down the street with like an interesting wardrobe, it like inspires me to think, whoa, like what is that person about? Where are they from? Like that's
yeah,
so different and unique. So I think music can tap into like an area that they might not usually have access to.
yeah.
It's, that emotional, like non-physical realm.
Wow. Yeah. So, always like, the other day also when I was speaking to you, we spoke about how music plays an important role in the fashion designers is, after you're done creating your design, like, when after also the creation of the design, when the design goes on the ramp, you always find a relatable music, on like when the fashion
Yeah.
show is live. Yeah. We always try to relate a music with the collection. So yeah, that is like very important. Yeah.
If you go back and you see different eras of music, like the 80s punk or the 70s punk rock, and then the 60s hippie, the
Yeah.
70s rock and roll, each style seemed to represent the music, whether it be more
Yeah.
edgy, so the spikes of the hair,
Yeah.
or more calm, like relaxed, like the hippies, so like flowing bell
Yeah.
bottoms, loose
Bohemian style.
clothing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how the music actually inspires the quality of fashion, or like the type of fashion. So it's like
Yeah.
a direct correlation between art imitating life and life imitating art.
Yeah.
It,
Wow.
it's
That's so
amazing.
interesting. Yes.
Because
And
how would you, if you,
yeah, yeah.
oh, I'm
No,
sorry,
please.
go ahead.
No, no, you please carry on.
If you saw a certain type of band play a certain type of music with a different type of like clothing on, it would be
Yeah.
like, it doesn't flow. So it's interesting how that affects one another,
No.
the style.
Yeah. Interesting. So again, like, when we go towards after fashion designing, as I said, if we talk about the interior designing, like, we were speaking about the restaurants the other day. So,
Hmm.
yeah, a little inspiration for the interior designers about music.
Yeah, I think that it's about mood. It's about each place we go has a certain mood.
Yeah.
you know, and if you go to a lounge, it's more dark and soft. And if you go to like a market, it's bright and it's high energy.
Yeah.
So it's really about back to the way it makes us feel. I think we're a very feeling species. We like to feel,
Yeah.
and different ways that help us feel. So when interior design, along with music, makes us feel.
Wow.
So really, to choose music that suits the environment or that inspires the designer. The main thing is the designers find
Yeah.
music that inspires them, and they don't even have to understand
Yeah.
how, why. They just have to say, when I put on this piece of music, it gets my juices flowing. It gets me thinking. It gets me seeing colors. It gets me smelling. Like it gets the senses heightened. And when your
Yeah.
senses are heightened, you're able to like create more easily. I've
Wow.
noticed.
That's interesting. Yeah, because so many times we go to some restaurants, like in Pune, like where I am now in India, there's this place called Pune. So there's this restaurant named as Hippie at Heart. So whenever I've walked in that place, there's always hippie music playing there.
Uh huh.
So yeah, so with the fashion, there's such an amazing relation with that place, and the interior designing, what they've done, it's like, very, very chic, hippie chic, I would say. So
Uh huh.
yeah, the music that way, it's very relatable. Yeah, great. So you tell us your inspiration about where you get your inspiration for when you start writing.
Oh wow. A lot of it's from love. About when
Wow.
I've experienced love,
Yeah.
it just something happens in me. I think it's another way to have love come out of our body. Like it when there's a lot of love in the heart, it has to
Yeah.
come out, whether it be in kind acts or smile. But a lot of times music just comes out of me, like whether it be feeling love or the loss of love.
Yeah.
So love is a huge component in my writing. It's probably like 90% of
Wow.
what I've written or write about.
Yeah.
So inspiring.
That's
Um,
nice. Yeah. So can you tell us something more about like what basically is your song about? Like, your album about. I told like I didn't mention about you to the viewers that your album is live on Spotify by the name New York
yeah,
Dirt, right? So what are your
yeah.
songs, yeah, about? Like, apart from love, like, because you might be having a lot of songs in there. So I heard few of the songs, and one was like, I think I don't remember, but yeah, it was something about in a caravan, in a like a trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of it's symbolism, but it started as a process to understand love, understand
Okay.
relationship, understand how people, man and woman, or two people come together
Yeah.
and create a life and love. And so it was just understanding that. The first album was just that, and then as I evolved, it became understanding love in general, like the whole world love and the more spiritual realm of it. But a lot of the writing is just to understand my experience and to understand how to navigate the world, because it could be kind of tricky, and it could be, you can get hurt, you can have joy, like, and just understanding my life and the world. So a lot of it's
Yeah.
just that, like the unfolding of my life and
Yeah.
that process.
Wow, that's interesting. Can you tell us like what are you doing these days and how is the environment there in US, with all the
Well,
coronavirus going on?
luckily, thankfully, it's lower than it's been in about 50 days. We have a step one. We're back to like a first. I've been back to work for about a month and a half.
Oh wow.
I work in a place where there's just a few people. We work at a school,
Yeah.
and we just do our responsibilities there. But I think within a week or two, we're going to start the second phase of our returning. So people wear the masks and people
Yeah.
keep social distancing. Um, but things seem really good. A lot people are healthy here, and people are being cautious. But it's been getting better and better. But I definitely look forward to getting back to a new
Great.
normal anyway.
Great. That's nice. That's interesting. So, these days what's happening with all our students is like, even if they are at home, they've been so productive. They have been completing their assignments and, different things. They are still being so creative and, they are creating art every single day and I think even we are dealing, to live with the new normal and,
Yeah.
yeah, so the inspiration main, like, the music is always there, even when we are at home or, doing chores around the house, the music is always,
Yeah.
always, yeah, a part of the journey. So again, when we go back to the music, when I talk about graphic designers, the creatives, what they make, again, when we, how can music impact them? I'm so sorry.
That's interesting because graphic design a lot of times is directly related to music video production. And it's such a big part of a band of musicians. So a lot of famous bands have used graphic artists to create their album work or their sleeve work. Like
Yeah,
Andy Warhol did the Velvet Underground album. So musicians rely on graphic artists to
yeah,
to to catch the attention of the people that they want their music to be heard by.
yeah,
So again, I think the graphic artists, if they're working with the band or if they want to work with a band or really
yeah,
like a band, they can create their art while listening to the music again. They're going to get the vibe. They're going to get the feeling. They're going to get what comes into their mind. Um, when I sing, like a video happens, I kind of see in video or
yeah,
pictures. So the graphic artists may want to allow themselves to just like see what happens in their mind and their body when
yeah,
they hear music, and
yeah,
then use that to bring it to the art. And again, it could be abstract, but
yeah.
abstract art is really important in that field of graphic
Wow.
art.
Yeah. So we are just going to ask the audience also, if they have some questions, because a lot of time they keep asking questions and we kind of tend to ignore the questions.
Absolutely, yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
So if anybody has any questions, because we'll be doing the questions, during the live, because when we talk about doing the questions in the end of the live, it doesn't get answered, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So just throw in your questions.
Neither.
If you all have any questions, you all want to know something more about how to use music as an inspiration in your designing, Greg will be happy to let us know how to use it. Okay. So apart from that, Greg, till the time we are getting questions. So can you tell us, like, again, like I know you told your inspiration comes from love, but when you talk about real love, about music, what exactly is your idea about real love for music?
Real love and music, or real love
For music.
for music.
Yeah.
Um, wow. I just think I would say that music, it's something from heaven. It really,
Yeah.
if you notice, I mean, when people are depressed or down, like if you put some funky music on, if you put something exciting on, people start to
Yeah.
move. They can't help it. It's like they can't help but be touched by music. And I think that's what love is. I think love is the creative force just coming through and allowing our bodies to be in the moment. And music
Wow.
brings us into that moment. And when we're in the moment, we're in love. That's
Wow.
how I feel.
So we have a question from Devakshi. She's saying, "Are you a rock and metal lover person?" Like,
I am. I love rock and roll. I love metal. I love everything almost. But yeah, I do. And a lot of the stuff we've done with the New York Dirt,
yeah.
my band has been harder edged.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Can you tell us the little difference between, the rock music and the metal music? Because
um,
I'm always confused.
there's a fine line for me because metal
Yeah.
music with it all comes down to the lyrics and to the message. So I'm
Okay.
really about a positive message of love. So I like hard edge stuff, but I like it where it's actually with a loving heart. You know, using the energy in a powerful way, not a destructive way, more of a positive, loving way. So I think hard
Wow.
music can do that because the edge shows us the light. If we allow to see like the darkness in the world, we can see the light. So for me,
Yeah.
it's always been about like the resolving the challenge and the struggle with the hope.
Wow.
So that's what I like, the edge, but I don't like particularly, you know, negative music. You know, it just doesn't resonate with my soul.
Yeah. Wow. So great. So Greg, about goals, you know, when we talk about goals, everybody has their own goals in their life, right? So, like, can you tell us, like, you know, how exactly do you, like, you know, like when you create your own goals and how do you work towards making your goals happen and come to reality, you know?
First, I actually sit myself down with
Yeah.
a pen and a paper and I write, like, I say to myself out loud, Greg, what do you really want? What do
Yeah.
you really want? And I write that down. And then I say, okay, how is this possible? How do I start this? Because it's got to be, sometimes it's a lofty goal, you know?
Yeah.
You want to do something huge, but you have to realize the process of getting there is the exciting part. So if it's, I want to sell 1 million albums, you say, okay, well, how do I write an album? How do I record an album? How do I?
Yeah.
So it's like the whole process. So I would say the students would need to sit down and really be clear with themselves and be honest, even if it's not sharing with anybody else yet, just to be honest with themselves so they know what they
Yeah.
really want,
Wow.
and then taking any step to get that started going in that direction. Because it happens quickly when everything gets aligned.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So tell me something more about, you know, different type of music. What are the different types of music which are there in the universe? Like at least in you.
We have country music, which is like that kind of drawl,
Yeah.
little bit sad, traditional. We have pop music,
Yeah.
which is very catchy.
Yeah.
Sometimes too catchy, like okay. And then we have like drum and bass. We have electronic music.
Yeah.
We have hard rock. We have folk music.
Yeah.
And you know, traditional music. You know, from India, I like the chants, Krishna Das,
Wow.
the mantra.
Yeah.
So there's so many types, but you'll see a little bit of overlap. But
Yeah.
it's amazing how many different types of music exist. You know,
Yeah.
in the world.
Okay. So we have one more question. The Devakshi, she's asking us what is like, sorry, Steven Wilson. Thoughts about Steven Wilson?
Steven Wilson. Not familiar with Steven Wilson.
Okay. So maybe, yeah, he's from a different genre of music. Oh, so you tell me about who is your favorite singer?
There's an artist named Connor Oberst. He was in a band called Bright Eyes. And he's been writing since he's like a little boy, since he's been like 13 or 14. In his first albums, he sounds like a little kid, but he's evolved as a writer. When I listen to his music, it's like poetic. It's like my life. It feels like I could live through his words. He has inspired me so much. Big inspiration for what I do.
Wow. So Greg, we have to like, you know, kind of as you had agreed on, like, playing a little piece for us. So I would want you to play a nice song from your, you know, band. And yeah. For us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get maybe I can access it through play it through Spotify through Here Live.
We can hear live. Live will be better if you just play it, you know, an acoustic version of your song.
Well, oh yeah. See, with the band, I'm the songwriter. I write all the lyrics.
Yeah.
So I started writing my own stuff, but I could give the link to the Spotify because we have 20 songs on there that we recorded.
Okay.
And I still get a little shy, oddly enough. Like I told, when I started singing, I used to we used to have to turn the lights down, and my friend
Yeah.
would bring his girlfriend over, and I'd be like, I'd be really nervous. So
Yeah.
I've gotten over that a lot playing live, but
Okay.
I still get a little nervous when it's really really.
I'm sure you can do. I'm sure because the viewers are gonna love listening to you. So I'm sure you can just
Yeah.
quickly play for us.
Okay.
I'm not letting you go without playing for us.
I guess so. Okay. All right. This one I haven't played in a while, but this is called Dante's Daughter.
Okay.
I got to know Dante's daughter. I got to know her pretty well. Then one day I looked in a mirror, realized I didn't know myself. Oh, Dante's daughter. Oh, Dante's love. I had a talk with Dante's daughter. I told her all about myself. Then one day she disconnected, realized she was someone else. Oh, Dante's daughter. Oh, Dante's love. That's the gist of that one.
Wow, that's so amazing. Wow, we love it. So great. It was really amazing chatting with you here. Thank you so much for taking out your time and being a part of this beautiful journey of our live series. Usually we do this on Wednesdays, but due to your availability, we had to move it on a Saturday evening. So thank you so much for being here. And it was
Thank
really
you so much,
amazing.
Megan, for having me. It's been a pleasure, and thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And it's
Yeah.
so inspiring to be in this community of creative people.
Yeah.
It's an
Thank
honor. It
you.
really is. I'm grateful.
Great. Thank you so much, Greg. So we'll see you soon. And
Yeah.
stay safe and please take care.
You too. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.